and freeze, as is the custom, usually exactly at that same point there. Cheers, everyone. It's Friday, and never has the anticipation for a cold one been more keenly felt than it is at the moment. Cheers, everyone. It's been, something of a week. I'll maybe have a bit of a moan about what's made it something of a struggle from to get from Monday to here as we go through the stream. But first of all, let's see who is in. Hope you've all had a great week, and Friday's here once again. We can have a beer and a chat and just kind of let our hair down if we had any for an hour or thereabouts. I see first in we have Terry Day, then Dave Lewis, Autogeddon 1 and Rent to Kill. There's Mark Kerno, Steve Entwistle, excuse me. We have theme tunes in there, and Dr. Gomez 1 and Timbo, who's still at work and gagging for a pint. Then we've got Relaxing Meditation. Maria Davis is in, so is Sean House. Johnny Random, there's Mickey Walnuts, Ben Allmark, David James, Peter Nicholson is in, so is Anton. Grandpa Joe, as usual, wishing us happy and safe beer o'clock and weekend. It's always great to stand the weekend. It's always great way to start the weekend. Well, thank you, Joe. Then we got Cylon Hybrid and Savvy 64, Torquemada 64, sweltering in the back garden today, up here on Scotland's Riviera, Costa del Dole. Yes, indeed. Then we've got Mark Gowans and Paul Trainer. Then Vincent Brennan is in. So is PFY Guitars. David Sotheby, I hope that's pronounced correctly, but you're in sunny Hull. Everybody else has been getting the sunshine today, except us. It's been decidedly overcast. It poked through a couple of times, but it's been just drizzly, kind of dull. We've got a wind farm just off our coast here, and when it's foggy, these things have little kind of bleepers that go off just to kind of make sure that ships don't kind of sail into them or anything. High-tech solution. I would have thought that they'd come up with something a little bit more kind of advanced than that. But anyway, I've been hearing those going off all day, which when you hear those, it means it's there's a bit of fog around. Then we've got Stuart Young, Frank Bolam, John Ross, John Mack is in, so is Tom Clark. And what are you saying there, Tom? Just been watching a demo from Harley Benton, the ST20HH Active. Wow. Yeah, wasn't there some issue with those Harley Benton Active guitars where they weren't grounded properly? I don't know if that's one of them. But I think Johnny Budget Guitar Show experienced that, as did Glenn Fricker at Spectre Media. So I hope they've got that sorted now. Then we've got Stephen Hedger, who has just fitted a Seymour Duncan JB humbucker and 2 Iron Gear Texas Loco pickups in his Jet JS400. Absolutely gobsmacked as to how it now sounds, and superb playability that makes this a keeper. Yeah, the JB humbucker is a bit of a beast, isn't it? It's not one for the clean channel, it has to be said, but dear me, throw a bit of dirt at it and it really does do the business, as we say. And there's Michael Purcell, and we got Dave Fiendish. I've missed somebody there. And Dave Fiendish, Amadeus, 60s Man, Rent to Kill, Carl Tom is in, so is Rubbish Guitar Bloke, and Jimmy James. David Evans is in, so is Steve Sprosen, Robert Forsyth, Malcolm Thompson, and then we've got Calby and the Rocco Cat, the Essex Cat, 2 cats in a row. We got Dave Snack Stevens from a warm and almost sunny Dorset. The Lamb is among us, everyone. The Lamb is in, beer at the ready. Well, I hope it's more than at the ready now, mate. So what else? Who else we got? Pablo Hank. Edwin Toonen is in, not Amsterdam, Augsburg, Germany tonight on limoncello spirits and German Weissbier. Oh, yes. I don't mind that Weissbier, but it has consequences the next day for me. Well, let's just leave it at that, shall we? We've got Cal Texper, and who else? We've got Pablo Hank is in, so is Nathan. Colin Falcon is in, and who else we got? We got Triple Distilled Blue Sofa Songs. Chris Otterwell is there. So is Dan Bernstein, who's going to be in touch next week about restarting lessons if you have space. We always got space for you, Dan. Long time no see, mate. I've been missing you. Then we've got the Gissy 77 at work, but I made sure to be on my break for this. Just ate a bunch of barbecue. Barbecue on your break at work? That's that beats a tin of a cup of soup in the break room, doesn't it? Or a tin of beans on toast or something. Where do you work, mate? Then we've got John Jones, and who else we got? We got, is that Hannes? I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, my apologies. There's Ian Rouse. And we got Jay Aoyong, Ed Parkins, Mr. Chris 5254, and John Jones is saying, what do you think of Terry Kath's solo on 25 or 64? It's epic, mate. That's a period of Chicago that I sort of discovered after the fact, because growing up in the 70s, you know, all you heard of Chicago was like "If You Leave Me Now," and all of those kind of schmaltzy Peter Cetera ballads. And then you discover, oh, actually, they were a pretty kind of hard-rocking band before they kind of went in that direction. So, yeah, great guitarist Terry Kath, has to be said, or he was. Then we've got Steve Cassidy guitar. Don't forget Steve's offering. I think you're checking out the Solo King guitar at 6 o'clock tonight, aren't you, mate? So everybody go over there and tune into that. We've got Brad Dowell, we've got Neil Roberts, we've got Derek Clacton, Rexomatic, Graham Campbell, and Paul Trainer, BSC. Jamal123 is in, so is Dudley Squat, Ollie M, and we've got, who else? Bob Contreras. Nice to see you, Bob. You and me will be having a little bit of a talk tomorrow, I imagine. We've got Eric Luttinger is in, so is Peter Shields. And anyone else? The J-Caster. No beer right now. Might have one at the pub alongside some music. Well, good for you, mate. Anyone else? Or have I got everyone? JT is in, so is anyone else? Mississippi Blues, Gary Hill is there. Gary, I got your email earlier, mate. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but rest assured I will. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Anyone? Ian Clark is in late tonight, and I think that's possibly everyone. Chris Smith, anyone else? I think that's pretty much everyone. Gordo Canuck, have I said you already? I think that's pretty much it. Cylon Hybrid, yeah, I've said you already, haven't I, mate? Apologies if I've missed you out or if I've mentioned you twice or something. I am a little bit fuzzy-headed at the moment, it has to be said. I'm still having problems with my back. You know, it's my own fault. It's my own fault. I've been prescribed some kind of industrial strength painkillers. Basically, I've got these exercises that I can do to get rid of the back pain, and they work. And I was doing the exercise, but I can't do the exercises until I get some decent painkillers. So I got them prescribed by the doctor, and anyway, doing the exercises, the back's getting better, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, these painkillers, they're codeine. And let's just say they upset I'm usually a very regular man, you know, first cup of coffee on a morning and, you know, things start moving then. And it's like tuck the newspaper under your arm, head off upstairs and just sit on the throne. and these painkillers kind of upset that natural rhythm. So I thought, well, it's getting better. I can probably get by on Nurofen or something. Big mistake. Yeah, so I'm back on the industrial strength ones again. But there is kind of a, you know, there were repercussions for not having for trying to tough it out and be macho and think I don't need the strong ones. Yes, I do. So I'm on another form of painkiller tonight. I saw people kind of running a bit of a sweep in the chat there about what the beer was going to be. It's Heineken. It's Heineken this week. because I've got a bad back, I couldn't go to the shops and carry everything back. So we got a grocery delivery, and they delivered Heineken. Let's have a little bit of a look, see what's been going on in the chat. Michael Purcell is saying, no sick pay for poor old John. No, that is one of the things of being self-employed, but I just, I actually just getting up here and getting into this room here and kind of working on a project and doing some tabs and stuff like that. There's a lot to be said for just losing your head in a project and, kind of occupying your mind with something. It stops you concentrating on the fact that you've got a sore back. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been spending, if anything, longer in here. Paul Trainer BSC, you are a gentleman, sir. Thank you very much. I'm much appreciated. You are absolutely fantastic. Thank you, mate. Hang on, I've got something going on here. What's going on? There we go. Just a weird, those Windows notifications that pop up on your screen. Where are we? Let's see what else we've got. Codeine and beer is an exquisite pairing. Yes, it will be codeine and beer, and then by about 9 o'clock, I think it'll be codeine and the magical Dr. Bell's Highland elixir. That tends to kind of, make that will ensure I get a decent sleep tonight. I'll put it that way. Anyway. What are you saying there, Terry? Any chance of a solo by Joe Moretti, one of Britain's pioneering rock and roll guitarists? Sadly, very much forgotten these days. You're not kidding, mate. It's a name that's new to me, but let me just write that down. Joe Moretti. And on the subject of... it's written down, and I've drawn a circle around it as well. So, no, it wasn't Windows updating. Whoever said that, it was just something about it, like finish setting up your PC, because it wants me to sync everything to OneDrive and everything like that, and then obviously pay Microsoft for some more OneDrive storage, which I keep telling it. I've got Dropbox. Shut up. Anyway, better tell you what's coming up on the channel this week, haven't I? So Sunday is a bit of a single cut shootout. The Harley Benton SC550 SL tribute, that guitar, that's going to be featuring in a couple of videos coming up in the next cycle. Part of the reason why I bought that Les Paul tribute is because whenever I get a Les Paul copy in here, it's a nice thing to do to kind of say, well, does this sound like a Les Paul? Let's compare it to a Les Paul. So that's what we're doing on Sunday. The Harley Benton SC550 versus the Gibson Les Paul tribute with aftermarket burst buckers. That is Sunday's video. Then here's a question for you. What are you saying there, Tom Clark? John, can you tab out the UK entry Dizzy? Oh, is this that Eurovision thing? Yes. Never have I been more grateful for Netflix than Eurovision weekend. I think the last time I watched the Eurovision Song Contest was probably when Bucks Fizz won. Which one was that? 1980. So I know Eurovision exists. It has a perfect right to exist, as long as I don't have to watch it. So there you go. But here's a question for you: Monday's solo analysis. What do you think is possibly the second Mark Knopfler guitar solo you ever heard? If you're old enough to remember when, Dire Straits broke in the late 70s, what do you think is the second Mark Knopfler solo you heard? Undoubtedly, the first Mark Knopfler guitar solo you ever heard will have been, Sultans of Swing, because that was the big single. And what do you do when you kind of like the single? You often go out and buy the album, and then you put the album on, and track one, side one, There's a guitar solo on that track, and that's probably the second Dire Straits guitar solo you ever heard. So that's what we're doing on Monday. The Lamb saying Brothers in Arms outro, probably. Well, no, that's... I think that's... I'm showing my age. I'm a little bit kind of further back in time, that bit. No, not Southbound Walk of Life. The Lamb. Yes, you've got it there, mate. Down to the Waterline. That's a beautiful solo, very melodic. Yes, indeed. It's, as I say, you hear the single on the radio, you like it, so you go out and buy the album, and then that's the next one you hear. Oh, Peter Shields, sir, you are Lady Writer on the Radio was the second one I heard. Okay, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing there, mate, but thanks, Derek. Anyway, let's put you up on screen there, Peter Shields. A bit of sick pay for you, Bonnie lad. Help fund the painkillers, lol. Yes, well, I've got a script that's ready there at the pharmacy. I just have to. I was going to say pick it up, but I suspect it'll be my good lady wife who goes up the street tomorrow and picks it up. Her, with her bionic knee, she had a knee replacement a couple of years ago, and you wouldn't think it now, but go back, I don't know, 20 years. I was quite the gym bunny. I used to go out for runs and everything. And then I got over my midlife crisis and decided I don't care that I'm approaching 40 and sort of let it all go to this, basically. Where are we? Let's have a look. Judas Priest Painkiller, a good number. Yes, well, I've got plenty of those. Anyway, I'm supposed to be telling you what's coming up on the channel this week. Down to the Waterline is the Monday solo analysis. Then Tuesday, well, last week I did what is increasingly looking like it's part one of a two-parter. My 5 favourite bands of all time. I'm probably going to do a part 2 of that, but there's some kind of... what would you call it? Deliberating and cogitating about what those are going to be. But what I have already decided on is what my 5 favourite solo artists of all time are, and that is Tuesday's video. Then on Wednesday, it's the chance of the Harley Benton. Let me just go and grab it. It's the chance of the Harley Benton to shine, or not, as it may be. Again, when I say not, it's because it used to have a very shiny neck, and now it has a very satin finished neck. And see the difference there between the neck was that same sort of gloss finish as that, and now it's that. And on Wednesday, I'm going to show you how to do it. It is possibly one of the easiest mods that you have to do with your guitar. You don't even have to take the strings off to do it, and it takes about 20 minutes to do, and it's absolutely bulletproof. It's idiot-proof. If I can do it, if a big butterfingered, ham-fisted numpty like me with a double chin, too many chins and not enough hair, if I can do it, then you can. I'm going to show you how to create a satin finish on a gloss-necked guitar. So that's Wednesday's video. And then on Thursday, we're going to return to a topic that I spoke about ages ago, like years and years and years ago, guitar magazines. I think we can all agree that we don't read them as much as we used to, and I think I know why. And it's nothing to do with the guitar magazines. It's not the guitar magazine's fault why they've why they're losing readership, I think, and I'm going to explain why that is on Thursday. But that is what's coming up on the channel this week. Excuse me while I just indulge in some more pain relief. Everybody get their fingers over the letters F, L, A, K, and E, because this might go a bit flaky. This might go a little bit lively. Although it's not looking bad at the moment, it has to be said. Not looking bad at that. Yeah. See, because I have Heineken so often, I think I've got the knack of getting a decent pour on that. There we go. What you saying there, Peter Shields? The neck looks fabulous, John, on the Harley Benton. That is, yeah. this one not so much. Although yours is canny too, big man. Yeah. Well, as I say, when they were handing out chins, I thought they said gins, and I ordered a double. And Michael Purcell saying, still get the odd digital magazine on iPad. Yeah, if I had an iPad, maybe I would. But the thing that puts me off iPads is A, they're so damned expensive, and B, well, yes, you can pick them up relatively cheaply second hand, but you hear all these stories about, Apple, kind of building in deliberate obsolescence into something. So if it's more than like 2 or 3 years old, then it's just going to kind of start getting slow and sluggish and all that. And to be honest, having had Android tablets, which I know is a different thing, but it's still a touch screen. And I like when I'm typing an email or something like that, I like physical keys to kind of where there's a tactile feedback from typing on them. I have for sort of consuming the internet when I'm not in this room here. I've just got a little Chromebook downstairs. It cost me about refurbished Chromebook that I bought on eBay for 75 quid, and it's got a battery life that's measured in days, and it's well, here's the thing. Most of the book that is out, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, most of that was typed in Google Docs on a Chromebook. So I think I just like a keyboard to work on. Torquemada, what you saying there, mate? What goes in and out and smells of wee? The hokey cokey at the old folks' home. It's a bit ageist there, Rob. Triple Distiller saying Chromebooks are great, cheap and fast. They do have their drawbacks. They're great for consuming content. All, as I said, you can actually create on them as well, as long as you're using something like Google Docs. But most of the, well, in fact, not most, all of the graphics that I do in the book, I do them on Microsoft Paint, and you can't use that on a Chromebook. Obviously, there's various sort of apps that you can use which purport to be a Chromebook alternative, but they never quite work quite as well. Talking about you were 64. You were 60 last week. Well, it's hope for us all, I suppose. Let's see what else we've got going on. Peter Shields is saying, I have an iPad. I bought it when I was in Northumberland and I've forgotten to take my laptop, the iMac. To me, it's awful. I think I've used it about twice in 4 years. Yeah, it's just, I don't even I will do emails and stuff like that on my phone, but just that kind of thumb typing kind of thing. And I just, I'll be honest with you, I would happily go back to an old Nokia 5110. I think that was possibly my first ever. No, it wasn't my first ever mobile phone. It was one of my first ones, but I had an old analog brick phone because I am that old to begin with. But yeah, a smartphone is a necessary evil. The one thing I'm getting kind of emails all the time now from my service provider saying, it's time to upgrade. You can get a new phone. You can get one of these. You can get one of these. And it's like, I don't want one. It's like, I don't want the hassle of having to kind of set it all up and kind of, you know, mither on with it and stuff. This one works. It's been unplugged since 5:30 this morning, and it's still on 74% battery. So, you know, it's until I can't get through the day on a single charge. That's usually when I decide, okay, I'll bite the bullet and upgrade them. iPad, not iMac. It was a typo, says Peter Shields. Where are we? David Evans, what are you saying there, mate? John, I once went to a newsagent years ago and asked for a jazz mag. They sent me the music shop next door. But yes, there you go. The Gentleman's Special Interest periodical, as they often get euphemistically called. Steve Cassidy, what are you saying there, mate? I wouldn't get anything done with a Nokia. It would be just playing Snake all day. Yes, we've all done that, haven't we, mate? You know, that is... I often say I'm not into video games, and I'm not. You know, I mean, I don't know, kind of Call of Warfare or, you know, kind of whatever it is. I don't know, Grand Theft or something or other. No idea what that's all about. But I once played Space Invaders in about 1980. And it didn't really appeal to me. I'm told that video games have changed ever since. I often say that's the line I always come out with. But, you know, I do remember just kind of sitting and playing Snake on my old Nokia brick phone. And it's just, you can lose hours doing that. So... Talking about us saying a fully charged Nokia would last me 10 days between charges. Yeah, it did get a little bit silly, that whole kind of thing with the old sort of what they call them, like push button phones. You know, it was like you know, if you could get one that was and it worked and it was fine, but like the feature that everybody wanted on those was like, can we get one that's even smaller? Can we get one that's the size of a postage stamp? You know, and you know, and again, that was another reason I didn't want to upgrade. I mean, do I really, you know, do I want a phone that's like that big with these ham fists? Malcolm Spillett is saying the only game I play on the phone tablet is that Pro Snooker. I think you meant to say, mate. Yeah, I have one I have one game on this phone here, and it's like, do you know what I mean if I say code word puzzles? It looks like a crossword, but it's not a crossword. It's I'll just Google it, code words, and if I've got 10 minutes to kill, I'll just go and do one of those. Great for wasting time when you kind of sat in hospital waiting rooms, as I was, you know, this and everything, you know, a few months ago, you know, just kind of sit and do and lose yourself in one of those. But all of this sort of stuff where I mean, I've seen footage from, you know, modern video games, and it just looks like it's almost like the fact that it looks like a CGI movie, which I suppose is what it is in all essence. And it's, you know, it can, you know, it's not something you can sit down and have a 5-minute game of. You've got to kind of you've got to invest time and effort and yeah, it's just no. I'd rather read a book. Let's have a look, see what else we got. Triple Distill is saying something like Wordle, a little bit like that, mate. But it's essentially a crossword grid where each square is numbered, and each number corresponds to a letter of the alphabet, and you've got to basically kind of figure out which numbers correspond to which letters of the alphabet. And you know, you kind of start by saying, okay, well, I know that E is the most frequently used letter in the alphabet. So, the most frequently used number on the squares is probably going to be an E, and you put that in, and you start sort of skipping. I mean, really itchy nose tonight. It absorbs 10 minutes or so. Talking about what you're saying there, mate. Where's Robert Galbraith, PFY, and Edwin? Yeah, I saw them earlier on, mate, but I don't know. I'm not paying a lot of attention to the chat, as I never do, because I'm too busy bloody blethering. Maybe they're just, interacting with members of their family. PFY's still there. Steve Cassidy saying, have you picked out the colour for your PRS CE24 yet, John? Oh, yes. It's that was a comment I left on your community post the other day, wasn't it? The other day. By the way, nice live stream yesterday. I watched it today on Catch Up as I was munching down codeine. It's as you know, I've got the SE CE24. And spoiler alert, there is a video coming up where I'm comparing it to the full fat USA version, and I think that might be the next big ticket purchase that I make. It's I've got to kind of squirrel some money away for the tax man, and and then we'll see how much is left over, and there might be, we shall see. But that is going to be the topic of an upcoming video, actually. Here's something for you, right? Let's just put this out there. Imagine, because, with social media and, YouTube and stuff like that now, it has never been easier or more likely, shall we say, that an ordinary pleb like you or me could become an overnight sensation. And if suddenly you had this kind of thing that you post a bit of music on social media or YouTube and it goes viral, right? And then suddenly you've got all of the big guitar manufacturers, your Fenders and your Gibsons and your Music Mans and your PRSs and Ibanez and all these kind of companies. Suddenly they're all beating a path to your door and saying, do you want to work with us? Can we do you a signature model? What would you have? So in terms of if you had, let's look, because it's going to be a top 5 video. Let's say you had Fender, Gibson, PRS, Music Man, and Ibanez, all beating a path to your door, and they're all competing for your business. And you were able to say, okay, well, you can make me one of these, you can make me one of these, you can make me one of these, and you can make. What would you go for? That's going to be one of the top 5 Tuesdays that I come up with. Michael Purcell saying anti-social media, as it should be called. Here's the thing about especially about what's it called now, X or Twitter, right? I'm sure there's somebody out there who can fill in the details in a little bit more specifics, but a selection of books that I will never ever tire of reading are the Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books. It's just such brilliant satire and so prophetic as well. And there's in one of the books, I can't remember, it might be in Restaurant at the End of the Universe, but it's certainly in that kind of canon of works, where Douglas Adams describes there's this race of hyper-intelligent beings who have learned to live in peace and harmony, and war and famine and hunger and conflict are all a thing of the past. And naturally, this kind of smug behaviour got right on the nerves of their galactic neighbours. So the powers that be inflicted the worst possible form of torture upon them, telepathy, and now everybody knew what everybody was thinking all of the time, and within 2 generations society had broken down, war, famine, pestilence, conflict, and everything had returned. Well, is there a particular invention that we can think of where everybody knows what everybody is thinking all of the time? I think it's called Twitter, and it's just You know, and Douglas Adams wrote that in like what was the late 70s, and you know he couldn't have known what was coming down the pipe, but it's turned out to be true. So there you go. Anyway, that's a bit deep for this time on a Friday, isn't it? A lot of people saying 42. Yes, the meaning to the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. Steve Cassidy, you're saying, out of all my Try Music Man, all I'm thinking about how many would sell and and commission or just dream specs. Oh yeah, you're not allowed to think. You're not allowed to think in terms of the commission and how many would sell. It's just like if Fender came to you and said, "Yeah, we want to make you your ultimate Fender guitar," what would it be? If PRS came to you and said, what guitar, what flavour of our guitar of the stuff that we make would be perfect for you? That's the kind of thought experiment I'm thinking about. Blue Sofa Songs is saying Douglas Adams was brilliant. Indeed, he was, mate. Robert Forsyth is saying Fender Telly with humbucker in front, picked just like the one I have. Nice one. Mr. Chris 5254, yes. That brings us neatly on to the subject of viewers' guitars. Never let a Vogon read you his poetry. Right, yes, let's go and have a look at viewers' guitars. I have got it written down here, and I thought once I get past the halfway stage, I need to go to that. So, no, I'm going to go to it. And, oh, no, hang on, I need to open that in this. Where are we? Open with. There it is. Let's make that full screen. And let's have a look at what we've sent in this week for the gallery. Here we go. So here we go. That's that. There it is. Here we go. This is Calby. His Sawtooth P bass modified with thumb rest and jazz bridge cover. Yes, a bass is kind of a necessity, isn't it? Really, if you're doing home recording, it's like one of the things that I've never had gas about a bass, but it's just something that I need, and I enjoy playing it when I'm doing bass lines. It's possibly my favourite part of recording my little demo tracks that I do. So that's nicely covered there. Nice looking instrument, mate, that's to be said. And we've got Chris Snowden. This is his Van Gogh 12-string. I believe this is a new acquisition, mate. Two lefties on the trot. Yes. Dear me, it's the thing that puts me off a 12-string is it always just seems a bit high maintenance in terms of tuning and you know, kind of restringing and stuff. But there's something to be said, you know, the gorgeous sound that they make. Then Dave Lewis's Faisley Ingve copy. I almost grabbed one of these, you know, because I'm that curious about the scalloped neck. Almost grabbed one of these, but then if you remember a few months ago, we had a little bit of an issue with some rodent visitors. Yes, we had rats running amok, and we needed to end up paying for the rat man to come and sort them out, which he did. Better than I was managing to do with me kind of humane traps and everything. But anyway, the money that would have gone on the Faisley scallop neck guitar ended up going to pay the rat man. But lovely looking guitar, like it has to be said. I am a bit of a sucker for Strats in that colour, more and more every, you know, kind of all the time. That sort of what colour is that? Is that sort of a blonde colour, would you say? There's probably some Fender catalogue name for it, but just that. Yeah, it looks really nice, mate. That's a nice looking guitar. Then another one from Dave Lewis. This is his PRS SE. What's this one? This is the Zach Myers, isn't it? I think, didn't Tim Pierce describe that once as the best guitar under $1,000? You know, again, we've got the racing pigeons, you know. I really wish PRS would kind of bring that back, bring the moons back as an option. And some more of Dave Lewis's PRSs. What we've got here, we've got a Mira. I had one of those a few years ago. Very nice guitar, it has to be said. This looks like a Starler, and I know you put in the email what this one is, Dave, but I've forgotten, and I haven't got the email open at the moment. But that looks very much like some kind of satin finished guitar. It might even be the same one that I've got. The SECE. Anyway, moving on. Some more PRSs. Well, kind of PRSs and PRS alikes. This is from Dave Roberts. This is his Champagne Gold S2, and this is what's this one? This looks like a core. It is indeed a core model by the looks of it. Beautiful looking guitar, and then just sneaking alongside it there, the Harley Benton CST24. Great guitars, great. I might even be getting another one of those actually, because I'm, I've told the story of me old one many times, but now they've been upgraded to stainless steel frets. That might be a comparison to do with the current PRS that I've got. So anyway, watch this space. Then Jimmy James, PRS SE and Les Paul Studio Tribute Mini. Now this guitar here, when I just first saw this picture, I immediately assumed it was a 70s Les Paul Deluxe because of the small pickups there. But these are actually, looking at the no pole pieces, these are actually Firebird pickups, I believe. And I didn't know they'd done a Les Paul tribute with those in there. Be interesting to know how that sounds, mate. And then you've got a Seymour Duncan P rails in this SE single cut here. Again, a pickup that I've been thinking about trying out because single coil, humbucker, and P90 and all in one pickup. It intrigues me. The only thing is, I know I would get option anxiety. Kind of thinking, what sound do I want now? But does anyone else ever tried those P rails pickups? Let me know what you think. Then we've got Mickey Walnut's Eastman E20. Lovely looking little guitar, that has to be said. Again, Eastman are a brand that I've pretty much got gas for. It's just like I want an Eastman SB59. But then again, I've already got a nice single cut guitar, so it's that would cause maybe a conflict of interest. I love me Les Paul, but what happens if I love the Eastman SB59 more? But Eastman guitars, they're getting quite the just find a bad review of one. It's pretty much impossible to do, isn't it? And there's the man himself, Steve Cassidy, with his parts caster. Steve, I said it when you sent me this email, mate. You've put some weight on there, lad. You need to look after yourself a bit more. Anyway, what we got here? We got Timbo's BC Rich Revenge. Yes, I think we're all starting to figure out Timbo's musical tastes now, aren't we? That is not a guitar that you're going to go up on stage and play a Carpenter's tune with, or a Hank Williams tune, is it really? And then another Timbo guitar, the Mustaine-inspired Jackson. And I think, yes, there's no kind of clicky arrow to the right of the screen. I believe that is this week's selection. Thank you, everybody, for sending in pictures of your pride and joy. And if you've got guitars that you want to see on the channel, on the live stream, kind of narrated by a fat bald lad, then ping them over to me, jrguitartuition at gmail.com. And all I do every week is all the pictures that get sent to me get lumped into a folder. All the ones that I've shown get lumped into another folder. So I know the ones that are in the kind of viewers guitar picks folder are all fresh meat, as it were. And then when I come up here into this very room on a Friday, about 3 o'clock to set up the live stream, I just go that one, and pick a random selection of the pictures that have been sent. Sometimes they'll have been sent that week, but if they haven't, they'll have been sent, maybe a week before or something like that. It's just entirely random. I don't kind of try and do it in chronological order or anything like that. And then those are the pictures that we look at. Maria Davies is saying flake. Craig Stamen is saying, I think Timbo's taste might be similar to mine. Yeah, you like your heavy stuff, don't you? Fair enough. Rent a Kill is saying, how is Dougal doing? Dougal is a little bit disgruntled at the moment because I can't take him for a walk because of my bad back. I can take him out in the backyard and throw a ball for him, and he gets more exercise chasing a bouncy ball around the backyard than he does when he's out for his walk, because you can't let Dougal off the lead when he's out, because he's gone. No matter how much recall training we've done with him, a feather floats past on the breeze, and it's like, oh, look at the feather, and he's off. You simply can't let him off the lead, so. He gets most of his kind of running around exercise in the backyard and throughout the house, and he enjoys that. But he does like going around and doing and checking his P mail as we go around the field out the back. And I haven't been able to take him out since my back's been giving me some grief. So he's he's a little bit, shall we say, kind of, not disgruntled, but, just, he kind of looks up at his lead at the usual sort of time on a day and thinks, Dad. Then I just give him a pig's ear, and he's, oh, I'll do that, that's fine, instead. So... Ravensmead is saying, anyone want to see some vintage Tokais? I do, mate. Yeah, ping them over to me. jrguitartuition@gmail. I'd love to see some Tokais. They were quite the guitar to have, weren't they, back in the day? When you really wanted a Gibson or a Fender, but they were just pipe dreams, and then you could afford this thing called a Tokai that was exactly the same, if not better, than the American guitar you wanted, and you could afford one of those. They've got and Bernie and Greco as well, and brands like that. If anybody's got, here's another thing that's going to be a top 5 Tuesday video: parts casters. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week, but if you have a modded guitar or a parts caster, because there's a very fine line between the two, isn't there? It's like if you mod a guitar by putting a new neck on it, is it still a modded guitar, or is it a parts caster then? Okay, we're going to do. I'm going to do a bit of a top 5 Tuesday kind of thing on readers' wives then, or viewers' guitars, parts casters. So same email address, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and put in the subject line, if you could please, parts caster, so that I know it's going to be for that particular video. Malcolm Spillett saying, I had some bad sciatica back in the 70s, then I took up karate and it got better. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance of me taking up karate, mate. Kind of hand-to-hand combat in me pajamas. It's. I think maybe I'm a little bit beyond the optimum age for that sort of thing now. Jimmy James, thank you for that, mate. Yes, I've got those stretches that I'm doing. I'm doing them twice a day, and they are working. As I said, the only problem is that they're working, and I thought, I can dial back the pain meds a little bit now that these stretches are working, and that wasn't a good idea. Let's have a look, see what else we got. If Trigger had a Strat, says Michael Purcell. Yes. Maria Davies is saying, what's for dinner tonight? We're having chicken salad and chips. We are having my home-brewed curry tonight. Then tomorrow night, it's Jackie's sweet and sour meatballs. And then Sunday is to be confirmed yet, but there's I've just done a big batch cook of chili, so it might be chili on Sunday night. Paul Trainer saying, good tens machine, John, for Payne. Actually, we've got one of those. We've got a tens machine. I never thought of that. Bought it for Jackie when she was when she had a bad knee, which has since been replaced. But yes, I might just get the tens machine on it. That would be a brilliant idea. It's because it certainly worked for her. Calby, I'm a loose belt in crisp eating. Robert Forsyth is in Tokai breezy sound, fantastic. Yeah, the breezy sound was their Telecaster one, wasn't it? It was the Strat was the springy sound, and the Telly was the breezy sound, and the Love Rock was the Les Paul. Let's have a look, see what we got. James Hunt, I have a kit guitar Telly. I chisel out for humbucker in the neck and a tone rider in the bridge pickup. Nice one, mate. Just as I say, send all of these parts caster pics over for this. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what the category is going to be yet, but there might be some kind of competitive element to it because obviously I'm going to have more than 5 pictures being sent over. So I might kind of do it as the best Strat parts caster, the best Telly parts caster, the best this, the best that, the best the other, and there may be some sort of giveaway involved. I'm not making any promises, but that might be the kind of format that it takes. Like a bit like a dog show, kind of best in breed and all that sort of thing. We shall see. These ideas usually come to me, or kind of get a little bit more, shall we say, solid, the more liquid I get. So let's have a look, see what else we got. Ben Allmark is saying, John, I'd absolutely love to see your chili recipe in video form if you haven't already done it. I've only done 2 cooking videos. I've done the beef casserole one and I've done the curry one, and they both got about a third of the views that I would normally expect of like the Thursday videos. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, but I'm just going to leave it a while because I don't want too many videos that kind of go into the kind of trough rather than the peak. Too close together in terms of, in the same year maybe. We shall see. But I mean, my chili recipe is probably the same as everybody's chili recipe: onions, peppers, garlic, and chilies. Sweat them off in some cooking oil, and then add the minced beef till that's brown. Then chop tomatoes, kidney beans, stock, and that's it basically. Just let it kind of simmer away for kind of hours and hours and hours and hours, and maybe a little bit of flour and in there to thicken it up if need be, and then keep on tasting every so often. And I always like to go quite sort of conservative with the heat in terms of the chilies that I put in, because you can always add more, but you can't take them away. And as it's cooking, you just add, you can either use Tabasco, or I prefer Encona hot pepper sauce, just to kind of bring the heat up. And like, I will put that pot of chili on at, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then it'll be simmering away till, kind of 6, 7 p.m. on the night, and that's when I'll serve the first batch out of it. refrigerate it overnight, and then batch it up and put it in the freezer the next day. That's my chili recipe. So there you go. To get back to guitars, I have a Strandberg copy with a through neck and no name on it, says Malcolm Spillett. Yeah, I've got an appointment with a Strandberg coming soon. Craig Stamen very kindly a little while ago came over and demoed his 8-string Strandberg, and Craig has offered me the loan of his 6-string Strandberg. And there's another student of mine actually who also has a 6-string Strandberg, who's offered me the loan of that. So I'm spoilt for choice for Strandbergs at the moment. But definitely, because back then when I had my hands on the 8-string, I was still kind of in a splint and everything, and I couldn't make a proper judgment about the rather unique Strandberg neck. But it is coming soon. We shall see. Triple Distiller saying, have you ever played a guitar wearing only a chef's hat? No, is the short answer, mate. I haven't. Let's have a look. See if there's anything else to kind of talk about in the dying moments of the game. Ian Clark is saying, John, did you find the Juicy Lucy on YouTube? I did, mate. Yes, thank you for that tip. Yeah, really rather good, it has to be said. Very enjoyable, mate. Thank you for that. Juicy Lucy is a band, by the way, in case anybody's thinking of, because there is, let's face it, going back to the old gentleman's special interest periodical magazines that we were talking about earlier on, it could be construed as something like that. It's not, it's a band. Well, yeah, really enjoyed it, mate. Thank you for that tip. What are you saying there, mate? Andertons did a video on Strandberg. He is having back issues too. Thought the design would force him to sit straight while playing. That's a thought, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, chaps, we're coming up to 58 minutes in, and not to put too fine a point on it, I do need to go and get rid of some used beer. So we're going to wrap things up there for this week. Thank you once again, everyone, for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad with not enough hair and too many chins talking absolute nonsense for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.